What's going on, people? Okay, so this video, I want to walk through a case study, a campaign that currently, as you can see, is 40% ROI in total. It's now day 8. However, what I want to do here is I want to go back to day 1. I want to explain exactly everything that is going on in this campaign from day 1 and for the next, hopefully, 7, 14, 21, 30 days, however long. Hopefully we have an update video every single day, whether it's good, bad, sideways, it doesn't matter. So, day 1, 13th of February, so this is a week today. So 1 week today, 1 week ago, last Friday, it launched. Okay, so I want to focus on this. I don't want to focus on anything else. I will walk through over the next few days what's going on in between. You can see yesterday we had an insane day. I'm going to walk through everything, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. So let's focus on day 1 for this video, as per. And I am going to... What are we going to do? We are first going to stack our campaign up, so we see exactly what is going on. I'm going to even take you into the ad account as well. All right, so the 13th is where we launched. This is the campaign. We launched one campaign. And it's an IBBC, inflated budget bid cap. Okay, so big budget with a bid cap, right? Again, if you've been around, you know, the YouTube channel, if you've seen my podcast on ClickBank or my interview on ClickBank, I spoke of a very similar campaign setup. Big budget and a low bid, right? Now it's slightly different now because of, since Andromeda, the shift is heavy towards creative diversification. You need diversity in your creative. Back, a few years back, it was really easy to get a campaign going with literally, one ad. And you could scale that ad to tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars a day with one ad. I have literally an ad of a banana in a glass with a little red circle around a garlic bulb in the bottom of a glass that I ran for probably $5 or $6 million. Insane. One ad. And it was the way that I used to run my ads at scale, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a day, was with an inflated budget and a bid cap. But back then it was called Sneak Attack. And there were a few key differences. One being you would select accelerated delivery. So with our big budget of $1 million a day, our bid would be quite low, usually starting at around 50% of our CPA in the ad account. So if our CPA is in our cost per acquisition is $100, we would start the bid at $50. But with that accelerated delivery, it would mean Facebook would want to spend our budget, but they can't because of the bid, right? Anyway, I don't want to digress, but I want to just say that this sort of campaign structure, it's been around. And there's, now with Andromeda, there's definitely a slight shift. There is a really good guy on X called Andrei Lunev. I mean, he's got videos and interviews on YouTube as well. He's a really knowledgeable guy, and he is a real advocate of this type of campaign, this inflated budget with bid cap. He does a really good job of explaining it. He's got some awesome content and will definitely do a better job of explaining the granular ins and outs of it than I can, because I am a complete tech-tard. But aside from that, what I can do is I can show you what is happening. You don't need $1 million a day budget. You don't even need $100,000 a day budget. Now, I would definitely recommend you have a decent budget. I wouldn't be doing this setup if I had $50 or a couple $100 a day, because I really do think for this to be beneficial, you need to have quite a high ceiling of scale, because this can happen quite fast. You can, to go back to this and to not digress too much. I know I've messed things up a little bit, but if we move everything back so we can get the cost in. Look, these numbers aren't impressive. I know that, but with this $100 start 7 days ago, and then 7 days later, we are 28x what we started with, right? Now, then it's not all inflated budget bid cap. There's other campaigns going on, but the majority is the inflated budget bid cap. And even so, it's, it can happen fast. And when you get good results, you need to have that ceiling, right? If you're capped at $50 a day or $100 a day, this isn't the structure for you. I would probably stick to just one CBO and, maybe either a higher bid or, a ABO campaign. I would try and build some cash flow, some credit or whatever, to then be able to start bringing out these sort of campaign structures. But if you have the budget, if you have the cash flow, I really recommend trying this out. And I'm going to walk you through. I'm not going to show you the ins and outs. I'm not going to give you my ads or my offer. I do that with my Ad Profits members. But I am going to show you the thought process behind it, right? So we started with this inflated budget bid cap, and we have one ad set. So one campaign, the campaign budget is $50,000 a day. That's what I've set my budget. Now remember, inflated budget with a bid cap, that inflated being the key word. We're blowing up the budget because we want Facebook to know that we have a high ceiling. If the opportunity is there, I would like you to spend, right? But with that bid cap being similar or in line with roughly where we want to acquire conversions for, usually, most people's target CPA is going to be a little bit lower than what Facebook can work with to spend a huge budget, right? There's a lot of inventory, a lot of auctions available, but there's also millions of advertisers bidding for similar or the same audience, right? So we're always going to know or see a slight throttle. And what I usually see, as you can see, $50,000 was the budget. I only spent $112. And my bid on day one was 2x my target CPA. My CPA, or my target CPA, is $30. And I started my bid at $60. That was my bid cap. And I spent $112. And on day two, I did nothing, right? And again, I'm going to go through the following days in later videos to give you a little bit of depth as to what I was looking at, what I was thinking about, the actions, etc. But this video is all about day one. Okay, so again, one campaign, one ad set, and in this ad set, you can see it's broad. I'm not targeting audiences, I'm not targeting lookalikes, interests, or whatever like that. And inside, we have 25 ads, okay? And they are all images. Okay, image 1 through 25, and they all have one variation of primary text and one headline because I was lazy and I decided to run the exact same primary text with the exact same headline, and that was it. The only differentiator inside of these ads is the image, okay? And what I'm doing with these images is I'm having just completely different concepts and angles. I have what I like to call a quadrant image, right? Which is like an image or a square cut into 4 quadrants, and certain things happening in each quadrant. I have before and afters, I have transformational, I have timelines, I have pain points, I have desired outcomes, all within these images, right? And you could say those are the angles. And then I have a couple of variations of each. So there might be different perspectives from the wife's point of view, from the husband's point of view. There might be, a pain point style ad. There might be a desired outcome style ad. All of these things, right? Motivators, what are they looking for? And I'll give you a really good example of avatars. One that I use a lot with male enhancement is one of my best avatars is the gym guy. Right? And what I found was, the only way I found this, by the way, was testing avatars, is I found that my locker room angles, my locker room creative really pulled. Got a lot of really low cost conversions with high ROI. So I started paying more attention to that. Right? And as I paid more attention, as I developed more ad copy around that angle about the locker room, as I started to tell Facebook who I'm looking for in my ad copy by saying, bench press, protein shake, gym, locker room, right? I'm basically giving signal to Facebook, telling it who this ad is for. right? By me saying all of those key words is a really strong indicator that this ad is probably relevant to someone who frequents the gym regularly. And Facebook knows that, right? Most of us have, friggin' whatever, GPS or whatever is in the app that can ping. Most of us, or not more, I don't, but a lot of people check into the gym because I've done the gym for the 4th time this week, right? A lot of us like protein pages, bodybuilding pages, whatever, right? If we're interested in that. So it's quite clear for Facebook to say, okay, this ad is targeted towards someone who goes to the gym, and this group of people all have an interest in bodybuilding, and this group of people all have an interest in protein shakes, and this group of people all have frequented the gym 3 times this week, right? So by doing that, and again, I haven't done it as such in that sense. However, my primary text and headline inside of each one of these ads is all the same, but it covers multiple bases, right? I am referencing the gym in my ad copy, and I'm referencing several other angles and pain points and desired outcomes as well. So it's a little bit of a merge, but it freaking works, right? And so day one, we get off to, I'm going to have to reduce the view on this because it's a little bit excessive, but we get off to a good start, right? Day one, we spend 112, we make back 150. And on day one, that's all I'm interested in. Does this affiliate offer that I am testing, does it have legs? That's all I want to know. Like, I'm not bothered about, spending thousands of dollars on day 1, 2, or 3, because I just want to find out, does this offer have legs? I don't want to really risk thousands of dollars and find out that the offer's shit, because then I'm down, right? I'm in the red. I just want to go slow. And thankfully, because we didn't have any data on the offer, in the campaign, or in the ad account, we're able to go steady, right? Again, with our $50,000 budget and our 2x target CPA bid, we still spend a fraction of the budget because we don't have any data in there yet. And that's just part and parcel of it. We have 25 ads. And again, as you can see, we have ads that get sales. And that's all I'm looking for. I'm not really that bothered if I don't make, profit on this first day. Because again, I'm just trying to confirm whether this offer is worth investing more of my time, more of my resources, and more of my money into. That's all I'm looking for, day 1, 2, right? Is, does this offer have legs? Is it worth me now investing more time? And, I see a lot of people, and, no flack on them because I know we all do things differently, but I see a lot of people, they have, a big pot of money that they want to spend on each offer and test multiple angles and really give it a good go. And I completely understand that concept because realistically, that is the sensible thing to do. Because how do I know that I'm not another angle away from cracking the offer? I don't. But for me, I'm a big believer that on day 1, a good offer shows itself. I'm a huge believer of that. I've been doing this for, over 5 years now as an affiliate and buying media for nearly 10 years. But I really do see that a good offer gives you the data that you need, the intel that you need on day 1. Not on day 8, not on day 36, not after $15,000 spent. Day 1, I want to see signs. The only time that isn't relevant is if I'm spending $20 a day, right? Which, again, you could argue that, I've only spent 112 and I'm pretty fortunate to see that I get free sales here. But like my mentality and where I'm focusing a lot of my time and energy now is in unsaturated markets. A lot of digital markets because I like to be able to scale international. I also like to be able to, really build out a sort of scalable campaign worldwide or whatever, right? And also with a lower cost, so I get a higher conversion rate. So I'm really focused a lot of my time and energy on low ticket digital offers, which this is one of. It's an affiliate offer. So that's what I do, right? I'm really looking to just confirm that the offer has legs. And once I notice that, that's when I can then be like, all right, I'm going to give more time and energy into this offer and start seeing if we can ramp up. And I'm going to tell you how I do the ramp up at a later date. And I'm not going to go into the ad account today. There's not really any point. But as we move through, the next while, we will start to look into the ad account. Again, I'm not showing you the ads, the page, the domain or anything like that. Again, that stuff's shared for my my students in Ad Profits. But I am going to show you the thought process behind it. I am going to give you a walk through what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I'm, considering, etc., what I'm testing, what I'm trying, where I'm failing, what I'm gambling on, and all of that good stuff, right? So again, we've got day one covered. We're just testing the water. We see it's got legs. We move into day two and we go from there. So stick around. Over the next few days, I'm going to be dropping videos, hopefully regularly. Obviously, it's the weekend now, so we'll see. But the plan is to get a video out every day and give you a little bit of more detail into the day-to-day process. I've got a little bit of catching up to do to try and get to the 20th, so we can do this more like on the day or day after, rather than doing it a week after. But we'll get there. Anyone that's interested in sort of getting a little bit more further detail on this, I've actually got all the 7 days so far walkthrough inside of my Ad Profits Academy. If you are interested, give us a message on Instagram or click the link below. You're going to find a link where you can book a call. Again, we had Ad Profits open on the monthly for quite a while. We've decided to remove that now and go back to our annual only. So it's not cheap. I'm just going to put it out there. But if you're interested, again, we do 2 weekly calls. Every week we have 2 calls where we go on, we troubleshoot, we go through bottlenecks, we share wins, we share losses, we share everything in between. We also have a private Telegram community where we're actively just going back and forth, again, asking questions, answering questions, sharing new content, sharing case study updates like we're seeing in this case study that I'm running right now, sharing hot offers, sourcing hot offers, trying to get you guys in Ad Profits the best deals possible that aren't available anywhere else. Again, one of the offers that I've ran recently, one of my hot offers, we've got several Ad Profits members right now that have launched over the last week or two, making sales on, which is awesome, and everything else in between. Lots of course content, but the real value is in the community and in the calls, right? Getting access to me and being around other guys in the same sort of circle, in the same stage of their journey. We also have some real heavy hitters in there as well. So please feel free to book a call below or give me a message on Instagram. We can discuss and we'll go from there. Cheers, guys.